behind closed doors in the world of business. I've seen so many talented people, so many folks who are brilliant, so many of them who are semi-geniuses, right? But behind closed door, they lack one thing, and that is willpower. Let me tell you what I mean by willpower. As crazy as it sounds, some of the most crazy, tough, intense, strong, brutally tough to the point that you can't do anything to stop them are those that on the outside don't seem impressive. Some of the most impressive people I've ever met. Because deep down inside, there's one thing they don't compromise. And let me tell you what that is. Again, willpower. What is willpower? Here's what willpower is. You'll hear a lot of times people say, you know what, I'm going to try to give my best. I'll give my best. I'll see what happens. Yeah, I'm going to try my best. I'll try to be at this thing. Yeah, I'm going to do my best. I'm telling you, I don't know, but I'm going to do my best. We'll see. I'm going to do my best and all this other stuff. There's always an out to their commitment. Yeah, but there's always an out. There's always a way to exit. So flight, and I don't have to fully commit to making it work, right? Always. Then you have a small group of people. These groups of people are like somebody you go on a date with, and you're sitting there, you're looking at this person, and then you start talking to them. And let's go, let's go. Good morning, family. Rise and shine. Happy Friday. Oh my goodness, look at this. We are coming up to the last Friday of 2022. Truly a special day, special week. It's been a year full of growth, full of lessons. So much has happened and transpired this year, but I know this has been setting us up for the most abundant year to come in our lives. I truly believe that for 2023. So family, let's get a little bit of gratitude down below before we go ahead and dive into today's topic. This is a good one, right? Today's going to get your wheels spinning. We're going to be talking about the 4 natural superpowers. So before we go ahead and dive in, let's get a little bit of gratitude down below. What is everybody grateful for coming into today? Let me go ahead and go live on the IG so they can join us as well. Your 4 natural superpowers. Okay. Awesome. So family, once again, grateful for God, grateful to be alive, so grateful for the mind, for the body, for the spirit. We've been getting really deep with these morning rituals. Even for myself, I got home super late last night at like 4:30, knocked out a quick little night journaling routine, got up, back at it again. So the journey continues, the growth continues, ready for everything that is happening for us in life and not to us. So let's go ahead and get into the day. Just like Shane says, we are in massive momentum. And it's funny, right? Most people, they tend to slow down during these last couple of months, but we've done the opposite. We've actually sped up. We've ramped up the gears. We've turned up the notch. And now we're coming into 2023 with a lot of momentum and abundance flowing in. So let's go. So grateful. Yes, absolutely. Appreciate you, Shane. So let's get into it, family. Today, we're going to be talking about the 4 natural superpowers. And the best part about this training is all of these superpowers, just like most of the things that you guys learn, it has nothing to do with the title. It has nothing to do with the rank, right? So at the end of the day, we can literally decide to go ahead and make the decision to take action on all 4 of these natural superpowers. And this is a must, okay? This is big when you really understand how important these are. So I'm going to go ahead and get into it. There's 4 of these bad boys. So let's go ahead and dive in. Yo, the wind is crazy when I'm about to get on these messages. The wind just starts tuning up right when I'm about to give out the sauce. That is so funny. All right, let's go ahead and dive. So family, check this out. It's impossible to build, right, tributes to success on a foundation of excuses, right? So over the course of my journey, I've realized at the end of the day, all of us can make excuses, right? We can make excuses for every aspect of this business. It could be with trading, it could be with e-commerce, whatever it is. But I had to realize at one point or another, excuses only sound best to those that make them, right? A lot of times, I've heard a lot of my mentees over the course of the journey. Here's some of the conversations that we've been able to have, right? The mentee, here's some things that might say. But I need to admit, I'm worried about what other people will say about me as I keep making the big changes I know I need to make. The fact is, I seem to be more concerned about the people around me and what they think of me than what I'm actually doing, right? So this is a mentor conversation just going back and forth that I had to document to go ahead and pour back into you guys. So here's the other side of the mentor. The mentor. What other people think of you is none of your business, okay? Leadership is about having unshakable faith in your vision, relentless confidence, and being able to have the power to make positive change, right? No matter what's going on in your life. So this is just something I've heard for so long, and I know for a fact that these 4 natural superpowers, this is going to allow you
to start taking a little bit more action than maybe what you could have been doing recently, because it's going to show you we don't need to wait for the perfect day to go out and make today as best as possible. Sean says it every day. He said, let's make today the worst of our yesterdays. Imagine that. Let's make today the worst of our yesterdays. So what does that mean? That means every day we can continuously grow and get better. So here's the four natural superpowers for everybody to really understand and put this into perspective. Number one, every one of us alive in this moment has the power to go to work each day and express the absolute best within us, and you don't need a title to do that. This is honestly one of the biggest reasons why I got started in entrepreneurship, because I don't know about you, but any other job that I had ever really been in, it kind of got under my skin. How I felt like I was working, drop some twos down below if you can relate. If you feel like you work twice as hard as somebody at your job, but you get paid the same amount. I don't know how many of you can relate, but that used to really irk me. 1111, paint your vision. Until I started to realize that we can get paid for what it is that we're worth when we have the right vehicle and when we have the right mentorship. So every day that we wake up, guess what? We don't have a boss that's going to call you, that's going to make you go into work, that's going to make you get on the Zoom, it's going to make you show up. But here's what I do know. We have the ability to go ahead and make a decision to go ahead and decide how much work ethic do we want to put in. Because the formula is very simple for entrepreneurship. It really is, right? For life in general, for building your body, for finances, for relationship with God, whatever we put in, you see, that's what we're going to get out. So if we have a little bit of input and we're expecting this massive output, this is the biggest gap between most people. Most people, they want a lot of results, but they're not ready to do a lot of the work. So I had to give myself in the mind frame, you know what? And this is why I did that training the other day on being goal conscious versus growth conscious, right? Somebody that's goal conscious, they're always thinking about the goals. And as soon as they hit the goal, they get comfortable. They stop doing everything. But somebody that's growth conscious, they understand we can always show up every day and we can always grow every day, right? So at the end of the day, we're never too old to be able to learn new things. And the second that we think we knew everything, we know nothing. So for me, I'm always showing up as a student. And I know every day that we show up, if you think about it, imagine this cup full of water, okay? I want you to imagine this is your potential, this is your capability for the day, okay? Here's what's interesting about most people. If this is how much potential, this is how much capability we have for the day, you want to know how much people normally use throughout one day? If we have all of this abundance sitting inside, you want to know how much people really tap into every day? I'll give you an example. We have all of this to access. This is how much people tap into. That's it. A little drop. That's it. People tap into maybe a little tiny drop. But if you access if you access everything that's inside, you will never even believe how much abundance can start flowing to you in all different areas of your life. I'm talking about your business. I'm talking about relationships. I'm talking about finances. I'm talking about being able to really step into the highest version. So that's number one. Okay. At the end of the day, we can all make a decision in the moment to go ahead and maximize our work ethic each day and go out and express the absolute best version of ourselves. That's number one. Okay. The second tip, these are good today. The second tip is going to be every one of us alive today has the power to inspire, influence, and elevate each person we meet by the gift of a great example. And you don't need any title to do that. I'll go through that one more time. Every one of us alive today has the power to inspire, influence, and elevate each other just by giving the gift of a smile, by giving the gift of gratitude, by giving the gift of positivity, by giving the gift of value. All of these different ways that we can go out in the world and we can be the light. I tell it to you guys every day. What are we? We are the light in the darkness. We are the light in the world. So if you don't think your smile matters, if you don't think your voice is important, if you don't think that you make a difference, I'm here to tell you right now, you are more important than you'll ever know. You are inspiring people every day that you probably don't even know who's watching you. So when I really understood this is what I wrote down in my journal in 2015, okay? I aspire to inspire before I expire. That's something that I never forgot. That's something that stuck with me until now. I aspire to inspire before I expire. So just think about it, right? The little dash that we have, Okay, the little dash that's going to be on our tombstone. We have 2 dates and we have a dash. What is that dash going to say? How much impact did you leave? How much influence were you able to create? How many lives were you able to genuinely impact from your existence? These are things that I think about. This is things that I wake up every day and I really get intentional about, why am I even existing today? Because if you're on this call, you're not born just to wake up, go to work, pay bills, and rerun that cycle for 40 years. That's not living, that's just existing. So if you're on this call, you're built for a lot more than that. So I want you to understand and get in the mind frame that you have a big difference that's waiting for you to be made. But it takes you believing. It takes you getting out of your own head, forgetting about everybody else's opinions, forgetting about all the no's that we've ever had in life, and understand that you right now, right here today, can make a decision to go out and make 2023 a year that you're going to be able to look back and say, thank you, God, I made the decision to go all in 2023, because that was the year that changed my life. I truly believe that. So this is big, okay? So everything that I do, I started going to work with intention, right? You don't need any title to influence. You don't need any title to elevate anybody else. In fact, you know what? I was motivating people out of my car when I was 30K in debt, when I was sleeping inside of Walmart parking lots, when I was showering in LA Fitness. I was motivating people back then just by documenting my journey. So family, let me tell you, you don't have to be traveling. You don't have to have the money, the cars, all of these things. People want to see two things, okay? People want to see profits, yes. They also want to see progress. As you grow and become the best version, I promise you on everything, you're going to inspire others to start doing the same, okay? I know that for a fact. So at the end of the day, you don't need a title to be great. You don't need a title to be leading anybody. When you set the example and show up, guess what? You automatically become the influence for others. People don't do what you say. I realized this throughout years of entrepreneurship. People don't do what you say. They do as you do. So I had to ask myself for a long time, am I just talking about it, or am I actually walking it like I talk it? I can't tell you guys to trade if I'm not trading. Can't tell you to go ahead and build an e-commerce store if I'm not doing myself. Can't tell you to run ads. Can't tell you to go ahead and travel, go to events. I just drove 3 hours to go do an event for 2 hours to drive back. I'm trading all week using the products. You see me getting kachings with the e-commerce store. So I cannot tell you to do anything that I haven't been doing myself. And that's what a real leader does. They know the way, they go the way, and last but not least, they show the way, okay? And you don't need a title to do any of that. Number 3. Oh man, I got 11%. Let me see if I can bust through this real quick. All right, number 3, look at this. The third natural superpower. Y'all ready? Every one of us alive can passionately drive positive change in the face of negative conditions. And guess what? You don't need a title to do that. I'm going to say that one more time. You ready? Every one of us alive can passionately drive positive change in negative conditions. I'll give you a perfect example. Family, one of my family members is in the hospital as we speak. Literally, she just broke her leg 5 days ago. She had to get surgery the next day. I had to pick her up at midnight, carry her in the car, take her to the emergency room, carry her in, right? Literally had to beg for her to be able to even get through, and she had to have emergency surgery the next morning. You guys still see it? I got Buddy out here. I'm still watching my dog, right? I have life hitting me so hard from so many different angles, but guess what? I'm still able to push through in any negative situations, in any negative circumstance. So a real entrepreneur, they don't make it happen when everything is going well, when they're feeling good. The difference is, how do you move when life hits you like a brick? Do you still get up early? Do you still go after your rituals? Do you still do the things that need to get done when life is not necessarily working out in your favor? This is where the real warrior comes out. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, you're not always gonna want to hit the gym. You're not always gonna want to make calls. You're not always gonna want to go ahead and take the time to make the drive to maybe go meet and have that lunch meeting. But I'm gonna tell you right now, if you constantly move off your emotions, you're gonna wonder why your results never actually show up. I had to stop worrying about my emotions. Maybe I didn't feel like going to the gym. Maybe I didn't feel like getting on. But guess what? It didn't matter what I felt like doing, because at the end of the day, your success doesn't care how you feel. Your success doesn't care how you feel. It discriminates against nobody. So I had to realize, if I don't put in the work, if I don't take the action, nobody else is going to do it for me. So why not go ahead and be the example to go ahead and push through in any negative situation? Because I told myself, Why not be the one to show somebody else that ends up coming through these shoes that if I can do it, they can do it as well? Family, you can go back and look on my Instagram. I've documented my whole journey. I've had days where I was driving to an event like yesterday, totaled my car, and I went and spoke at an event an hour later, got an Uber ride and literally went and spoke at the event. Why? Because this is bigger than me. Why? Because I know what this can do, not just for my family, not just for friends, not just for strangers, but anybody that's open-minded, willing to learn. I know that, right? So the last superpower, this one's big, right? If you're going through something negative in life right now, here's what I want you to know, okay? You don't need a title to change that. You can change that right now with your perspective in literally a matter of 5 seconds. Nothing in life is good. Nothing in life is bad. It is what we make it, right? I've been going to the hospital every day for the past 6 days. You want me to tell you what I see? My family member, she's in the back corner of the hallway. So I've got to go up to the 6th floor and I've got to walk past maybe 45 doors. And every door has the door open with the patient inside. I've seen people with no legs. I've seen people that have cancer. I've seen people that are beyond sickly that can't even breathe. So my question for you today is whenever I get emotional, whenever I feel like life is hitting me, my mentor asked me this 5 years ago, and I asked myself to this day. He said, Dylan, you're going through a lot right now, right? It seems like life is just pouring all of these things on top of you. Let me ask you this. Do you have anything to be grateful for yourself in life right now? You know what's funny? We're literally at a lunch meeting. We're sitting down at lunch. I can't even make this up. Sitting down at lunch, and he's like, D, you don't have anything to be grateful about right now? And I was just so frustrated. I was complaining about life. I was complaining about all these things that just seemed to be kept happening to me. And guess what happened? There's a lady that literally rode by in a wheelchair with her husband, and the husband's pushing her, and the lady didn't have any legs. And we both looked at her as she walked by, and we looked at each other, and he says, Dylan, you really can't find anything to be grateful for in this moment? And I got teary-eyed. I got goosebumps just thinking about it. I got so emotional just thinking about it. How many of us take so many things for granted in life, right? My family member just had to get a whole rod put in her leg from the crease of her hip down to her ankle. So let me ask you, if you had to wake up tomorrow in a bed and you didn't even remember it because she was drinking, she didn't even know. If you woke up in a bed tomorrow and you had a rod in your leg from the crease of your hip down to your ankle, how would you feel? How would you move? And let me ask you this. Would you move a little bit different if you knew tomorrow you had one more chance? If today you had one more chance, if you were able to make a wish and you were able to poof, I want you to envision that. If you had a rod in your leg and you were able to make a wish right now to just poof that away, but you had to be able to go all in your life. You had to go ahead and make the most of it. How would you move? These are conversations that I'm having with myself these past couple of days. So I felt like you guys would get a little value from it. This is big, right? And last but not least, number 4, I got 7%. Let me see if I can squeeze this out. Number 4 is going to be every one of us alive, okay? Every one of us alive. The truth about leadership can treat everybody with respect, appreciation, and kindness. And in doing so, the culture that you create in your life, in your business, in your relationships is unmatched. And you don't need a title to do that, right? Inside of the book, John C. Maxwell, here's what he's talking about. He said, nobody is better than you and nobody is less than you. We're all equal. The moment that you realize that is the moment that you change the way that you start speaking to others. People want to be a part of something that they have to actually brag about. So treat others as they want to be treated. It goes both ways. Always respect others and be kind because you never know what somebody is going through. This is a big one, okay? Even for myself, I've got humbled a couple of times, and I've learned to realize we can learn anything from everybody. You see, when I was getting out of college, I was the type of person to think I knew everything, okay? At the end of the day, some of us can go ahead and relate, but this is what life is about. We get humbled as we go. So as I started to learn, I realized that we can learn something from everybody that's walking. Guess what? They don't need a title to be able to get to give you that lesson. I've had times where I was traveling out of the States, and I've literally ran past a bum. Can't even lie about this. I'm not even gonna say a bum. Somebody that went through life and they ended up, stranded, homeless on the streets. And I've had a couple of these really deep, honestly, scenarios. And this one in particular, I was walking by. I was with a couple of our mentors, and he's on the street and he's drawing on his pad. And his clothes are all ripped up, and he's like, "Hey, do you mind checking out my drawings?" And I was with a group of like 6, and everybody ignored him. But I said, you know what? Let me see what you got. Go ahead and show me your book. And he opens up his book. Mind you, like if you're looking at this guy, you'd have no idea he used to be very successful, right? Because his clothes are all ripped. He hasn't showered in days. But he opened his notebook, and I look at these pages as he's flipping through, and it's literally like picture perfect drawings of the city, of people walking by, right? Of these portraits that people don't even know that he's literally just been drawing right here. And he goes on to tell me that he was a very successful businessman. He's had a lot of success, but life just happened to not work out so well for him. He got in a divorce with his wife. His wife took everything, took all his money, and he ended up on the street with nothing. But I literally sat down for 30 minutes, and I had this heart-to-heart conversation, and he just gave me some wisdom that I needed. He gave me this, honestly, this real prophetic paragraph. He opened up his book, and inside of the book, there was a picture of the clouds, right? And in the cloud, I'll never forget it. Inside of the clouds, he had dreams. It was literally like a text written in the clouds of dreams. It was abstract, but we could both see it. He said, what do you see when you look at this cloud? And I said, I see dreams. He said, that's funny because I see the same thing. And for you, I see you being able to travel all over the world, impact lives that you never even imagined, and truly being a light to shine in the darkness. That was one of those situations that I never forgot, but it just went and taught me that you can learn something, you can take something from anybody. And that's fire that I've carried with me, honestly, 5 years later that I heard. So it doesn't matter whether it's your teacher, a son, a cousin, right? Mentorship, friend, we can learn something from anybody, and we don't need a title to be able to learn from that. Okay? I'll give you an example. If you see an ambulance go by today, you don't need a title to realize that every day is a blessing. Every day is not a given. Every day is an opportunity for us to go ahead and make the most of it. And when you change your perspective, change the way you see things, the way you see things change, right? Well, this is exactly what it is that means. Okay? So family, this is my training for you guys on the 4 natural superpowers that all of us can tap into right here, right now, today. And guess what? You don't need a title and you don't need a rank for any of these today. So I know this is a phenomenal training that anybody can go out and utilize and go ahead and put in, and not only just use it, but go out and teach it. So fam, if you got any value from today, go ahead and drop some 7s down below, smash the like button, and let me be the first to tell you I'm proud of you. Let's go ahead and finish this thing strong. This is the last Friday of 2022, and let me tell you, this was a year of a lot of growth, a lot of lessons, right? But a lot of seeds were also planted in 2023. It is time to go ahead and reap the harvest. So family, it is your favorite entrepreneur. If nobody told you, I love you, I appreciate you, and I'm so grateful for you stepping into the highest version of you. So family, with that being said, remember, you can be, do, and have anything you can hold in your mind. You can hold it right here in your hand. Go out, have an abundant weekend, family. I will see you guys after this weekend coming into 2023. So I will see you guys next year. You already know it's game time. We got to read our letters. Don't forget, read your letters, and let's go ahead and make our new congratulations letter for the vision coming in to 2023. Family, it is already done. Let's go. It's game time. Let's get to work.